Yo, tapping in real quick for this UFC fight night that's fitting to take place Saturday evening, where the main event is a showdown in the welterweight division between a crafty OG UFC veteran and a hot, on the rise prospect who feels like he's next up. And Magny just may be his next step on his quest to greatness. We are back in the apex for this one. Who will that smaller cage be a benefit to on Saturday? And who will that smaller cage be a disadvantage to? That is to be determined. I do appreciate y'all for tapping in. This video right here, this is the full card breakdown and predictions, man. I'll do my best is not to hold y'all ear hostage for too long, but you already know how that go, man. You know what I'm talking about? Not necessarily sure what the lineup's gonna look like come fight night, but this is the one that I have in front of me, so it's very much so the one that we gonna rock with tonight. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. First fight of the night, women's MMA. We have Melissa, who's currently a minus 260 favorite on the money line, taking on Claudia, who's currently a plus 195 underdog. Now, this is a fight I want absolutely nothing to do with in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You understand what I'm talking about? Unless we're talking about haymakers for the prelims, just trying to sweep the whole prelim card or something like that. I don't want it wrapped up in main prelim bets, whole card bets. I don't want anything to do with it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. There is nothing about the body of work or the lack thereof that Melissa has produced in any cage for any promotion that justifies a minus 260 favorite price tag next to her name in any way, shape, form, or fashion in any reality. You understand what I'm saying to you? This shit's ridiculous, and you already know what it's hitting for. We're in the doghouse, man. Melissa's done nothing in any performance against anybody to justify a minus 260 price tag against anybody inside the UFC octagon. So it is what it is. It's a complete pass, but as far as a pick's concerned, go ahead and give me that dog, man. Let's go ahead and kick this one off with the dog. Give me Claudia at plus 195, and it just is what it is, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's the pick. Trayshawn versus Antonio. Trayshawn is currently a minus 180 favorite on the money line. Antonio's currently a plus 145 underdog on the money line. This is another fight I want absolutely nothing to do with. This motherfucking card is full of shit that I want absolutely nothing to do with. You understand what I'm saying to you? But I spoke about that when, we talked about the last card that just passed. This card coming. There's quite a few cards coming our way that are riddled with prospect versus prospect, and it just looks like the UFC is trying to take out the trash, meaning, whoever's on the wrong side of this decision or this finish is getting the fuck up out of here, give them their walking papers, and you know what? Regardless of who's on the, right or wrong side, if that performance is shit, get them both the fuck up out of here and give them their walking papers. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's one of those cards, with the exception of, some OGs scattered throughout there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, what the fuck is going on here? Is this another season of Dana White Contender Series that nobody told me about? Nope, it's the fucking prelims. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. And for the sake of a pick, fuck a Trayshawn. Give me another dog, man. Give me Antonio to find his motherfucking, find a possible finish in there inside the distance. I don't want anything to do with this fight, man. You know what I'm talking about? And this, these couple picks right here, because I could make a case for taking the dog in these first 3 fights, but I am going to take the dog as far as a pick's concerned in these first 2 fights, and it just is what it is. Give me Claudia at plus 195 over Melissa, who's a minus 260 for no reason, and give me Antonio at plus 145 over Trayshawn, who's a minus 180 for absolutely no reason. You understand what I'm saying to you? Man, this is fucking ridiculous. Now, these 2 young men, I don't know how to pronounce their names, so we're going to call old boy CR and his opponent GB. You know what I mean? You'll know who I'm talking about based off the initials. CR is currently a minus 175 favorite, and GB is a plus 140 underdog. These fucking fights, man. Prospect versus prospect, question marks on both sides. None of them been tested up against a legitimate level of opposition for us to be arguing their statistics in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is a fucking shit show, man. This is a Dana White Contender Series showing, man. This is on the road to the, looking for a fighter. This is some old other shit that's going on right here, man. I don't know what the... Must be taking the trash out. Must be eliminating shit, man. You know what I mean? It's why... It must... I can't fucking... You see, I can't even put words together for this shit. This shit is ridiculous, man. This shit is ridiculous. It starts to get a bit better, and then it gets a bit more ridiculous, man. But it is what it is, man. Claudia is the pick over Melissa as a dog. Antonio is the pick over Trayshawn as a dog. I want absolutely nothing to do with these fucking fights. And CR, for what it's worth, he's a -175 favorite. That'll be the first favorite that I'm rocking with over GB's +140 underdog. But those are 3 fights I want absolutely nothing to do with. Complete passes, just fucking miss me. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want anything to do with them fucking fights. Now, Cody versus Damon Blackshear. Very winnable. Very bad stylistic matchup in my personal opinion for Cody. That reach advantage, Damon is very much so going to use it to his advantage. And I don't really know that Cody's going to be able to get his game going in this matchup. Cody's a +190 underdog. Cody's stating, the other Cody's on the top. Cody's a +190 underdog to Damon's -250 favorite. Hop on Damon now, man. If you want to parlay, do some parlays and you want to parlay Damon up, hop on Damon now. Because Damon will be a -400, creeping up over -400. Probably close to -500 come fucking fight night, because he is going to be getting parlayed up and individuals are going to be dropping something on him. In my personal opinion, that is just my personal opinion. Obviously, I like Damon Blackshear in this matchup. We got that Spice Peaches we fit to fire up tonight, man. You know what I'm talking about? Charles versus Matthew. You know what I mean? I told you they start to get good, man. Then they hit us with some and then it starts to get good again. But Charles versus Matthew, man. This is one of the ones that I have the most trouble with on the card, if I'm being honest with you. Charles is a -170 favorite to Matthew Sellemsberger's +135 underdog price tag. And like I just said, it's hard. It's a hard one for me because I can see, Matthew Sellemsberger, he's Matthew Sellemsberger, you know what I mean? He can show up and fuck a motherfucker's night up, for sure. You know what I'm talking about? Clip him, disconnect him from his consciousness, find his submission while Charles is doing the wrestle fuck game too much, you know what I mean? There's multiple ways for Sellemsberger to find a finish in this matchup. I don't know that he wins a decision in this matchup, but maybe he does. Maybe he keeps the fight upright and does the better work over the course of 15 minutes. But I'm going to side with Charles. You know what I mean? Chuck Buffalo, ain't whatever the fuck he is. I'm going to side with Charles as a -170 favorite to go ahead and get this one done. Now, Mansoor, if I'm saying Mansoor versus Dusko. Mansoor's a -375 favorite. Dusko's a +280 underdog. Never been high on Dusko in any way, shape, form, or fashion, so it is what it is. I am on the side of the significant favorite, but that's not anything that I want a crazy amount of action on at -375, and just has not been tested up against a legitimate level of opposition again for us to be arguing his statistics in any way, shape, form, or fashion, or for us to be making a case for him to, being -375 on the money line up against Dusko, who in his own right hasn't had the best run. It's been a roller coaster of a ride ever since coming into the UFC. You know what I'm talking about? But still, he's been up against that higher level of opposition, and he does have that experience inside the octagon. So a -375, I don't like it. I'm on that side. But it is what it is. Nicholas Dalby versus Zaleski. Nicholas is a -110, slight underdog to Zaleski's -115. That's going to go back and forth. And midweek, I believe Nicholas will be he'll be a favorite, -120 something, -130 something, coming towards the end of the week. You know what I mean? This line will be like how Zahabi and Pedro Munoz was, where I think Nicholas Dalby playing the Amin Zahabi role and ending out being the favorite. You know what I mean? I am on the side of Nicholas Dalby. I know they fought before. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm on the side of Nicholas Dalby to actually probably find the finish inside of 15 minutes in this time. I like him at -110. You know what I mean? These cats both been around. They both been in the muck. They both been handling their business. They both been up against it. You know what I'm talking about? For what it's worth. And I just like Nicholas, you know, to get the better of Zaleski yet again and possibly find a finish, man. And that's the prelims, you know what I'm talking about? So for what it's worth, it's a complete pass on Melissa versus Claudia, but I'm taking Claudia as a dog. It's a complete pass on Trajan versus Antonio, but I'm taking Antonio as a dog. It's a complete pass. I don't know how to say CR's name or GB's name, but I'm taking a slight favorite in I'm taking a favorite in CR. And then you can give me Damon over Cody. I'll take Charles over Matthew, Mansoor over Dusko, and give me Nicholas all day over Zaleski. I love that price tag, man. I hope he ends up being a dog, but I feel like, you know, motherfuckers know better. He gonna be the favorite. You know what I'm talking about? On to the main card, man. Luana versus Jillian. And give me Jillian to get this one done via unanimous majority or split decision. 2 rounds to 1. Wouldn't be surprised if Jillian pulled out a 3 rounds to none or found a finish inside the distance, because she can, you know, she's proven to be dangerous in her own right. You know what I'm talking about? And she's legitimate for this level of opposition. Minus 265, though. I don't really like the price tag, but I'm on it as far as main card plays and some haymaker plays are concerned. Luana's a plus 200 underdog. Here's where shit gets spicy, y'all. GM3. I don't know how to say it. We just said GM3 versus RDR. You know what I'm talking about? And GM3 is a plus 215 underdog on the money line to RDR's minus 280. And this is where some of y'all might, you know, disagree with me, but we are in the doghouse, and give me that dog in GM3, man. RDR seems to do his best work on the ground in the jiu-jitsu department. He seems to get most of his finishes inside the distance, if I'm not mistaken, via submission. And that's the same, very much so can be said about GM3. He's locked up quite a few more, I believe. Or at least a few more, you know what I'm talking about? The dog is barking for him. I do believe he does have a few more submission victories. And listen, man, if RDR goes out here and submits GM3 on some fluffy Rodolfo Vieira type situation, then cool. I'm cool with being on the wrong side of that, man. You know, swap out option will be applied, but I'm on the side of GM3. Give me that plus 215 underdog. Give me that dog tag next to GM3 with the individual who likes to play around on the ground and lock up them submissions inside the distance for the most part. He will clip you and disconnect you from your consciousness on the feet as well, but I think GM3 is going to test that ground game. I think GM3 is going to stay away from, you know, too much on the feet, work his way in, get into the wrestling and grappling, because while they both are very dangerous on the ground, one of them has been very dangerous on the ground up against a different level of opposition. While the level of opposition, when you look at RDR's resume, you know, their records that he's been up against have been fairly, you know, pretty fucking decent. They've also been over there in a promotion that I'm just not very high on when it comes to certain, especially certain divisions. You understand what I'm saying to you? As far as levels of opposition are concerned, so RDR will have to make me a believer. Give me GM3 at plus 215. You know what I'm talking about? Now this next fight is another fight that I had to go back and forth with, much like the Charles and the Matthew fight, because I am not high on Ricky Tursos. Ricky, however you say Ricky's fucking name. I'm not high on Ricky. And then you have Bernardo, Sopa, however you say old boy's name. I'm not high on Ricky. And then, you know, Ricky has undeniably been up against a higher level of opposition, wins and losses. It just is what it is. You know, call it a fade on Ricky, I guess. I don't know what the money line is. I wasn't privy to that. It wasn't on the app when I went looking for it. When I did Google it, I saw on one of them things, I think Bernardo was a slight favorite and Ricky was a slight dog. Maybe it was the other way around. I don't fucking know. But for the sake of this pick, I don't want anything to do with this fight, but you can give me Bernardo, man. I'll roll the dice on a young boy. He like 24, man. I'll roll the dice on him. I'll roll the dice on him, man, and see how they lay against Ricky. I'm just not a fan of Ricky, man. It is what it is, man. And next fight, we have Carolina versus Denise. Carolina is currently a plus 320 underdog, the second biggest underdog on the card, up against Denise's minus 430 favorite on the money line, and give me another big dog. We in the doghouse, man. What you expect? Give me another big dog, man. Carolina, look at that resume. Carolina, look at that resume, man. Look at that resume. And I don't give a fuck that she, motherfuckers thought she was done and now she's back. Give me that dog tag at plus 320 up against Denise, who in no way, shape, form, or fashion should be a minus 430 favorite over anybody in the UFC octagon, especially over Carolina, who is by far and undeniably competed against the higher level of opposition and beaten the higher level of opposition, man. That's undeniable. That's a fucking fact. You understand what I'm saying to you? If she comes out there and she shows up, she will put on a better all-around body of work than Denise. Denise, I guess people are thinking Denise is going to finish Carolina in this matchup, and she's going to justify that minus 430 price tag. Not me. I know she's got one good win on there, you know what I mean, over old boy Bruno or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? But one thing has nothing to do with the other. Styles make matchups, and I think Carolina's a bad stylistic matchup for her. And if you're going to give me her at plus 320 in a women's MMA match where I don't necessarily believe Denise is on the same level as far as levels of opposition are concerned as Carolina, give me Carolina all day, man. It is what it is. Cody's at plus 105, underdog on the money line, up against Miles, man. And in 2024, man, give me Miles, man. Give me Miles to go ahead and get this one done. 2 rounds to 1. Maybe it's a split decision. Maybe Miles finds the finish in the 3rd round in them final minutes because Cody's unsure about how this one's going and, maybe needs to finish or at least needs to be very dominant in the 3rd round and gets a bit reckless and a bit aggressive in his approach and gets caught slipping. You know what I'm talking about? Club and sub type situation for the finish, or possibly just, catch him and then just, pound him the fuck out with the hammer fist. You know what I'm talking about? But give me Miles, man. Give me Miles to go ahead and get this one done, to produce the better all-around body of work in Cody in 2024. You know what I'm talking about? Cody's 105, Miles is minus 130. Give me Miles, man. Now we on to this main event. Neal is the biggest underdog on the card at plus 475, leaving Los as the biggest favorite on the card at minus 670. And, I'm not necessarily going to say I understand the price tag. I can get behind him being a big favorite based off the fact how fast Michael Morales was able to get him out of there and how dangerous Los is proven to be. I can see why individuals feel like he's going to get Neal out of there relatively quickly as well. You know what I'm talking about? But that is to be determined. The pick will be Los based off of how undurable Neal proved to be in that last matchup with Michael Morales, you know what I'm talking about, and how dangerous I know Los can be. But there will be a dog play, you know what I mean? There will be a dog play on Neal. There will be a swap out option added to at least one parlay for the main card, you know what I'm talking about? Possibly one Hail Mary for the whole card. But there will be at least one play on Neal. A single play at plus 475, and I'm sure that'll climb to like plus 550 to make it even better. There'll be a single play on Carolina at plus 320, as well as a single play on GM3 at plus 215. And I honestly believe that single play on Carolina can definitely smack at plus 320. As well as GM3 at plus 215. What if he finds a submission inside the distance and really gets under RDR's skin? You know what I'm talking about? But it is what it is, man. I like who I like. And as far as some of these picks, as long as we properly prepare ourselves to be on the, as far as parlays are concerned, to be on the wrong side of a couple of them picks, then, we'll be all right. But as far as I'm concerned, those picks that I might be on the wrong side of, I want nothing to do with. Melissa and Claudia, I want nothing to do with that fight, but give me the dog. Antonio and Trajan, I want nothing to do with that fight, but give me the dog. CR and GB, I want nothing to do with that fight, but give me the favorite in CR. You know what I mean? Mansoor and Dusko, I want nothing to do with that fight, but give me the significant favorite in Mansoor. You know what I mean? But you can give me Damon over motherfucking Cody, and you can give me Nicholas over Zaleski. You know what I'm talking about? fuck it, you can give me Charles over motherfucking Matthew, and you can give me Miles over Cody for sure. You can give me those four to play around with, you know what I mean? And then we'll talk about some other shit. But it is what it is, man. I like who I like, man. And I like Jillian, significant favorite. GM3, big dog. Carolina, big dog. Miles and Miles a favorite, and Los a big favorite. You know what I mean? So the fights that I'm on the side of them dogs that I don't really want nothing to do with, I ain't worried about that, because I'm not really gonna have no action on them. But for the sake of the pick, it is what it is. But you know, up there with like GM3 and Carolina, there'll be swap out options applied. You know what I mean? Absolutely necessary. But you'd be out of your fucking mind not to take a shot on GM3 at plus 215 and Carolina at plus 320 when they've been, you know, tested and they've proven the level of opposition that they are. Their opposition has yet to be tested by a legitimate level of opposition. Hence, they've yet to proven what level of opposition they truly are. You understand what I'm saying to you? So it must be a dog play on some of them. But that's what it is, man. From bottom to top, them prelims, give me the dog in Claudia, the dog in Antonio, and the favorite in CR, but nothing to do with them fights. And give me Damon over Cody as the favorite, Charles over Matthew as the favorite, Mansoor over Dusko as the favorite, and give me Nicholas over Zaleski. It's pretty much a pick 'em. He's a slight underdog at minus 110 to his minus 115, but it is what it is. Give me Jillian over Luana as a favorite, and give me the dog in GM3. Give me the dog in Carolina. I don't know what the money line is on Ricky and Bernardo, but give me a shot on Bernardo. Give me Miles over Cody and Los over Neil for the sake of a pick, but it is what it is. There will be a dog play on them. You know what I'm talking about? A little bit of early bird parlay action, options for y'all if you want to attack them. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is, something light, not major. Like I said, Charles and Nicholas, you know what I mean? I like Charles and Nicholas to be the ones to get the job done. And those two legs come together at plus 194. That's also one of the prelims, so that's a prelim play. You know what I'm talking about? Then you have Damon and Miles, you know what I'm talking about? And those two, I like them two to get the job done. And they come together at plus 138, man. And since I like those four, I'll throw, you know, a little something on them four. Nicholas, Charles, Damon, and Miles, them four come together at plus 599. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Nicholas, Charles, Damon, Miles, and the boy Mansoor, you feel me? Those five come together at plus 788. You know what I mean? And then Nicholas, Charles, Damon, Miles, the boy CR and Mansoor, if you wanted to fuck with him, they come at 1303. Now for me, I like Nicholas, Charles, Damon, Miles, and Jillian. You know what I mean? And they come at plus 865 for Charles, Nicholas, Damon, Miles, and Jillian. I think all five of them are solid, and they come at plus 865. And if you like that significant favorite in Mansoor to get it done over Dusko, you can toss him in, and those six will come at plus 1126. But for me, you know what I mean? It's Charles and Nicholas at plus 194. And then Damon and Miles at plus 138. Then Charles, Nicholas, Damon, and Miles at plus 599. Then Charles, Nicholas, Damon, Miles, and Jillian at plus 865. Those are a few plays that I myself really do like and are fitting to be invested into. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's that with that for right now. You know what I'm talking about? Something like nothing major. You know, we ran through this motherfucker from bottom to top for what it's worth. It's quite a few fights I want absolutely nothing to do with. But as long as no fights get canceled, we have quite a few fights to work with. You understand what I'm saying to you? So we can still put some things together on the prelims, put some things together on the main card, and then toss some things together for the whole card. You feel what I'm saying to you? There's definitely some dog plays to talk about. You know what I mean? Definitely some all favorites with some swap out options, and you know what I mean? Definitely ways to get these heavy favorites wrapped together at a nice plus money number for motherfuckers to that motherfuckers is comfortable with, you know, going to the window with. You know what I'm talking about? Swap out options are absolutely necessary, so we will definitely talk about them and touch on all that. You know what I mean? quick picks, all that good shit, you feel me? Incoming, whether I shoot all that out tonight, you feel me, or I just fall back and shoot all that out, you know, in the AM. We'll get that out the way, and then we'll get these early bird parlay video out the way. That's a few little parlays, early birds. They gonna change. The money's not gonna be the same, you know, not 2 days from now, because these cats are gonna get parlayed up. They are gonna get bet on, and you already know how that situation goes. So it is what it is, man. I like who I like. I like what I like right now as far as these parlays that I, you know, just read off to y'all. And we gonna talk about everything else, man, and get a little deeper into the parlay situation tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? That's that with that, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. That was the full card breakdown and predictions. Quick picks and everything else is incoming. Peace and blessings.